जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा। जगो प्रमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम विष्णुपाद ब्रह्म सुपर विराज का आचार्य स्त्रोत्र शत श्रीमती जैसी भक्त वेदांत संस्कृत की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस पर विराज का जरा स्तोत्र शत श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगामय यमुनामय की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All reach to assemble devotees, Hare Krishna. All reach to assemble devotees, Hare Krishna. Alloris to the simple devotees, Hare Krishna. Alloris, 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 Shri Guru and Gauranga, Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtai Bhutare Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sunyavad Pachanta Destarane. Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you for joining. Okay, let me share. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रयेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी हरि ओम तत्सत्. Discussing the glories of Srimati Radharani as Radhastami is approaching. Very, very auspicious and very, very important festival to celebrate, to engage in service, to not miss in service, not miss observance of this festival, because then we'll be the greatest loser if you're not going to observe this festival. Huge list of credit bhakti ummukha sukruti credits are available on this day. So we'll touch upon Srimati Radharani's appearance, her position, what is the definition of Srimati Radharani, what is her qualities, so what's her appearance, pastime, and the beauty of Srimati Radharani, and what she likes in terms of the dresses. Obviously, some of the items also we'll try to describe, and we'll look at obviously Praman, Siddhanta, and underlying the essence of Srimati Radharani's mercy. How do we understand how she helps every living entity? How one can attain Krishna Prema? How is it happening? Attaining Krishna Prema, how is it happening? So understand that. So this is the crucial verse which I am displaying. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, chapter 1, verse number 5. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ahladani Shakti Rasma Ekatmana Abhi Bhuvi Deha Vedo Gatauto Chaitanyakam Prakatam Apuna Aduna Abhi Dadvayam Chaikyam Apna Radha Bhavasuritam Naomi Krishna Sarupam. So where it is mentioned basically Radha and Krishna are one body, originally one body. That's Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti. So the ecstatic transformation of the love of Radha and Krishna. So in order for Krishna to relish that ecstatic love, then they have divided, they themselves one body divided into two. That is second line is Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ahladani Shakti Asmat. The Shakti and Shaktiman. Krishna is the Shaktiman, potency of the Shakti. Radha is Shakti, energy. We'll give an example also how important it is. And Asmat Ekatmana Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Vedo. Pura means previously the Ekatmana, one body. But now Deha Vedo Gatauto. No difference, but now they are dividing themselves one body into two as Radha and Krishna. Initially only one body. So in Krishna, Radharani is there. But then they expanded into Radha and Krishna. Now again, for Krishna is feeling missing three things. He wants to, three desires he had. He left when he went back to Vrindavan. When he went back to Golok after Dwarka pastime, then Krishna is missing three, is having three desires. So then he has appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Aduna Tadvayam Chaikyamapyam. Now they are coming together again, especially in the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani as a devotee, especially to relish actually how, because Srimati Radharani is feeling so much, three things she's feeling. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to, he cannot come as Krishna because then he cannot relish it. Because he has to be on the opposite side as a devotee to relish. So that is Chaitanyakyam Prakatam. He has appeared, Aduna. Now, Tadvayam, the initially Dvayam, now Chaikyam Aptam as one. In what mood? Radha Bhava, the ecstatic transformation, the Bhava, the mellows, the humor, the ecstasies. Yeah, the symptoms, all that Radha Bhava Dyuti. Again, the color also taking the complexion of Srimati Radharani's golden color. Dyuti Solitam Naumi Krishna Surupam. To that personality, I offer my obeisances. So that is a very, very important verse. And the next verse also explains what are those three desires what Lord Krishna wants to taste in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Three things he is missing. When he takes the position of Krishna, no one alone can enjoy. That is what Prabhupada had four different classes from 68, 70, 73, one more, 74, I think. Four different places, four different classes on Radhastami. Each place, most of the time, he is telling about Srimad Radharani means Lord Krishna cannot enjoy separately, cannot enjoy any material things. He is Parabrahma. Parabrahma wants to Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavita Vistabir Eva Nijaropataya Kalavi Goloka Eva Nivasata Akiratma Bhuto Govinda Madhura. He is Ananda Chinmaya. He is full of ecstatic bliss. But when he wants, anyone can taste alone. No one can taste alone. So we need friends, we need family. One more person is required always. Always one more person is at least minimum. More is better because variety is the mother of enjoyment. So Lord Krishna also, that's why he wants to relish the taste, but he cannot relish and taste any of these with any material things. It has to be transcendental things. It has to be spiritual things completely, no material things. So that's why he expanded himself. So that's why. But then he's missing three things because he's seeing more taste and more beauty, more love, more bhava, more. He's thinking, so why am I not feeling? How come she's feeling more? Radharani is feeling more. So that's why here in this verse, Sri Radhika, three things in three lines it is mentioned. What is that? I want to taste what Srimati Radharani is tasting. Sri Radhika Pranaya Mahima. That ecstatic transformation of love. What are those three things? Kidrizo. First one is Swadhyo Enadbhuta Madhurima Kidrizo Va Madhya. First one is Enadbhuta Madhurima. What is that greatness of love? How come she is feeling more love than me, than I feel? She is always ecstatic. She is always feeling very ecstatic. She is always in bliss. How come she is feeling more than me? How is it? No? Because he cannot taste unless he is entering into that side. So that is the first aspect. Greatness of love. That is the second line. Third line, second aspect is Saukyam cha asya mad anubhavata. That is the second aspect. What is your, how she is relishing through her love. First, understand the glory of Radharani's love. Now, then the second aspect is the wonderful qualities in him, what she alone relishes through her love. So, what is that? So, that is the second aspect. That's why the Saukyam Chasya, Mad Anubhava. That what is that Anubhavas? What she is feeling exactly, the symptoms. The third aspect is Tad Bhava Dya Samjani. Samjani. That is the third aspect. Is the actually the happiness she feels. Saukyam chasya mad anubhavatam kidrisam va. Yeah, first one is the first one is pranaya mahima is the first one. Second one is the adbhuta madhurima, the love, the ecstatic tongue, and then the third one is the happiness she feels. Saukyam. Sukha, Saukyam, same thing. Friendship and everything, all the rasas are there. Saukyam chasya madvanubhav. So these are the three aspects which Krishna is desiring. He is missing. He wants to taste it. So that's when he has appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now we'll try to understand about Srimati Radharani's pastimes and her position or glory. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salapaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Mukam Karvati Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yat Kripa Tamam Vande Sri Gurum Devatarani Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Vancha Kalpadarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhaya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamanyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktam ki jai. Only through Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Prabhupada, spiritual masters, we can understand. Guru Maharaj mentioned, I was hearing the very old class on Radhastami. It is endless. Even if I speak till the end, also even if I give many classes, but still the glories of Srimati Radharani is endless. So many Puranas, so many Upanishads are giving so many in terms of qualities, in terms of the observing this festival, what will be the merits, in terms of the pastimes, so in terms of our position, the tattva, everything is explained in so many different ways, much more elaborately. So that's why it takes, unless we have the mercy of the acharyas, it's very difficult to understand this. The first aspect, as I mentioned, is Srimati Krishna wants to enjoy. So then he has expanded himself into one body into two, Radha and Krishna. So Srimati Radharani is the Hladini potency. So that is the first understanding. And she is called Shakti, energy, internal energy of the Lord. So that energy is mentioned. And then somebody has to, if there is energy, in order for it to, somebody has to manifest it. Hmm. Lord Krishna has energy, is the origin of that energy, is the cause of all causes. And Srimad Radharani is the cause of all the concerts. The Lakshmi is the queens of Dwaraka, all of them, the gopis, all three are coming. Krishna is the cause of all causes. Radharani is the cause of all the concerts, all the different ladies, you can say, consorts. She is the cause. So both ways she is the better half, you can say. And now the Prakashika Tattva. So the mantra Prakashak, Shakti Prakashak, or Dham Prakashak. Somebody has to manifest, somebody has to show. Just like the electricity is there, unless you put a bulb, you put a light or fan or refrigerator or something, then it is manifesting. So that Shakti, who is that? The spiritual master is the one who is manifesting the potential. That's why in the position, in the case of Srimad Radha, it is mentioned that she represents a Hladini Shakti, one of the Shakti out of three energies. We will come in detail, but initial to understand. Pleasure potency, unless this Hladini potency of Srimati Radharani is not bestowed, Jiva cannot attain Krishna Prema. Jiva cannot go beyond these three modes of material nature and attain the spiritual nature. It is not possible. So the Srimati Radharani has to, that Hladini potency has to bestow her causeless mercy. And her mercy is coming, that Prakash Tattva of Srimati Radharani and Prakash Tattva of Sandhini potency, the second aspect, which is Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram's potency, Srimati Radharani's potency are manifested through spiritual master. So that's why the ignorance, yesterday we were describing that ignorance is Om Ajnana Timiram Dasya Jnananjana Salapaya. So that Timira, it is a great dense fog. It's very difficult to remove. Ajnana Timira Nama Kahiye Kaitava, Dharmartha Kama Moksha Vancha Adisava. So the original ignorance. So it's very difficult to understand in the spiritual matter. And even further, even after coming to the practice also, there is another level of ignorance which is coming under dharma of the kama moksha. What will happen if that ignorance is there at this level also? It is Mishra Bhakti. Even that ignorance also is a cause. You cannot attain Krishna because the actual Krishna, what do you call the all attractiveness of Krishna or the Krishna prema will vanish. The minute you have this ignorance of dharma of the kama moksha, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling that. Tara madhye moksha vancha kaito pradhan. The kaita, this cheating moksha, dharma of the kama moksha is there as ignorance. Then what will yaha haite Krishna bhakti hai antardhan. Krishna bhakti will go disappear because we have some other desires. So that is why this Prakashit Tattva of the actual Krishna's prema, Krishna's love has to be manifested to whom? Krishna will not give so easy. Krishna gives only, that's why on Radhastami day, Prabhupada is giving in all lectures. If you want to offer any service, if you want to offer even a flower, don't offer directly to Krishna. You must offer it through Srimati Radharani. If Radharani presents to Krishna that here is a devotee, accept him, then Krishna will accept without a question. So that's why we must, so that's why we go through Guru, because the spiritual master is the representation of Prakasat Tattva. Is the mantra Prakash. That's why you can chant Hare Krishna mantra was available before also. Whether you have a guru or not, no, you don't have a guru, you have a mantra. Everybody knows. But where is the transformation comes like that? No. It will not reveal. So that's a mantra prakashak tattva that is coming from Srimati Radharani through spiritual master. Shakti prakashak, the energy, transformation of the energy, that also has to be spiritual master. Dham prakash, even if you go to the holy dhams, but it won't reveal. Things will be, layer will be formed. You can't see. You can't understand the actual intricate inner meaning of the holy dham. You will see only all negative things. So they all this because these are the prakash tattvas. Only who can reveal? Only the Srimati Radharani and Lord Balram can reveal through spiritual master, through sadhu, the pure devotee of the Lord. So that is the first understanding why we have to worship Srimati Radharani, why we have to worship the spiritual master, why we need. This is for this reason. Ignorance, only way we don't have that adhikar. So that somebody has to manifest. So that's why this parabhakti is needed. Yasya deve parabhakti yata deve tata guru tasyaivahi katita prakasante mahatmana. That revelation in the heart only can be done. Mercy of Srimati Radharani is mercy is revealed only through the bona fide spiritual master in the heart of the sadhak. That is the first and foremost understanding before we get into actually the position of Srimati Radharani. Now we'll understand. So this is explained that there is a Krishna Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Bhava Tattva, Guru Tattva, like that. Even Radha Tattva is there. This is explained in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 8, verse number 263. Krishna Tattva, Radha Tattva, Prema Tattva Sar, Rasa Tattva, Leela Tattva, Vividha Prakar. There is a variety of transcendental truth, the truth about Krishna, the truth about Radharani, the truth about their loving affairs, the truth about transcendental humans. So Krishna Tattva is about Krishna, Radha Tattva is about Srimati Radharani, Prema Tattva is the loving affairs between them, and then Rasa Tattva, the transcendental humors, various rasas within that love. And then Leela Tattva, the various pastimes Lord performs, the inner meanings, the intricacies of that. So all these tattvas to be understand properly. So that is the first aspect why we have to understand. Because unless we want to, already Krishna already mentions in the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tekta deham punat. First you have to understand my birth, my appearance, my activities, in truth, then only you can enter into the spiritual world. So that it can only be understood again through the mercy of Srimati Radharani, through again the spiritual master. So now we will give some references of the Puranas. References. Srimati Radharani's position is Or if you want, first let's go to our birth pastime, then we'll understand the pramana, or beauty. Or, sir, before even come to that, let's read the beautiful pastime of Srimati Radharani's appearance. Then we'll come to that. Yeah. So there's a most of you may know, or some of you may not know. So there is a pastime of how Srimati Radharani appeared 2 weeks exactly after Srimati Radharani. That is all the teaching. Unless you have a spiritual master, in this case, Narada Muni is involved. Spiritual master is very much needed, even in this case also. Radharani was there, but she didn't open her eyes. Everybody is bewildered what to do. So spiritual master has to come, and again, in this case also. A beautiful pastime. This happened. So Srimati Radharani's birthplace she was found. Lord Brahma has told that in the previously you prayed for a baby, so that's why I bless you. That's why you found. So basically, Vrishabhanu Maharaj and Kirtida Sundari, they are the parents of Srimati Radharani. Obviously, Radharani told, I'm going to appear as you are appearing in Vrindavan, Bhoma, Vrindavan, earthly planet, but I don't want to see anybody else. First, I want to see you, otherwise, I will not appear. So that's why she didn't even open. She was found in the Yamuna river in a big lotus. Vrishabhanu Maharaj found. This is in the Raval, Mukravali, I think now the place name is a little different. So there is a lordly mandir. Vajranath, great son of Lord Krishna, established a beautiful temple, Radha and Krishna's temple now. And Yavat is another place where, after that is another pastime of Srimati Radharani, seemingly married to Abhimanyu. So because of curse, so that there after marriage she lived there, Yavat. So all these are the places. One day we'll have to take class separately just for the pastimes and the places, showing the pictures and explaining that. But so now we're describing the birth where it is happened, the Raval, where that lake is there, Yamuna River. There she was found. Srimati Radharani was found on there exactly 2 weeks after Lord Krishna appeared. So that's September 22nd. We just celebrated Janmashtami before. So now we'll decide. One day, Vrishabhanu Maharaj went to the bank of Yamuna at around noon to take a midday bath. At that moment, he saw a golden lotus flower floating on the water and shining brightly like thousand suns. Vrishabhanu Maharaj immediately waded into the river, and when he came near the golden lotus flower, he beheld the most beautiful, radiant form of baby girl lying within the petals of lotus. The Jiva Goswami Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that this the brightness and the quality of Srimati Radharani is explained as is like the brightest day of sun, the brightest day of summer sun. How much bright? We can at least to that extent we know that. Imagine how much bright it is. And one can be enlightened to that level. You will be, enlightened to that transcendental emotions. But from the darkness, all the way, that darkness of ignorance is compared all the way to the on the Amavasya day, the dark night, so dark, pitch dark. So that is the ignorance. So through Radharani's mercy, one can be enlightened even at that level, from that lowest level to the highest level, by the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So at that same moment, Lord Brahma suddenly appeared there and speaking in a grave voice, informed Vrishabhanu Maharaj that in his previous life, Vrishabhanu and his wife Kirtida Sundari has performed great austerities in order to get the consort of Lord Vishnu as their daughter. Lord Brahma told Vrishabhanu that this girl was the origin of goddess Lakshmi. So there's another name is Sarva Lakshmi Mai. We'll come through that. Many details about Srimad Radharani. We haven't gone there. And he should take great care of her. Lord Brahma then placed the baby girl in the arms of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, who became overjoyed, and after taking permission from Lord Brahma, returned to his home. Seeing the beautiful baby girl shining like millions of autumn moons, Mother Kitida was overcome with joy and immediately arranged for all kinds of religious rites to be performed and donated thousands of cows to the Brahmanas. At that time, baby Radhika was placed in a gem-studded cradle and gently rocked back and forth by all the little girls of the village. Day by day, her luster increased just like the digits of the moon. Within a short time, while it was observed that the baby girl made no noise and had not yet opened her eyes, then Vrishabhanu and his wife feared that the baby girl was perhaps blind from birth and also dumb. At that time, Sri Narada Muni visited the home of Vrishabhanu Maharaj and informed him that regardless of the girl's apparent blindness, they should continue with the birth celebrations. So it's very important. Radhastami must be celebrated. Don't quote me again. In the calendar, there is no fasting. So officially, there is no fasting on Radha. She's very merciful. But if you look at Sri Prabhupada's those four lectures, in one or two lectures, in other place also I saw that Prabhupada is mentioning we'll have fasting half day. That's what Prabhupada said. So it is not officially okay because don't tell others that I have told. But if you like to do, you can do. So because as Prabhupada I read it, so that's why I'm saying that. Fasting, no, not much difficulty. Half day fasting, it's not a big deal till 12. And one must engage in the service. One must celebrate, observe. It is mentioned that thousands and thousands of Ekadasis even performed, it will not be equal. Observing Radhastami, if you do it with nicely, taking bath early in the morning and chanting and nicely engaging, worshipping. If you have deity or otherwise you come to temple, if you want to do some service, please contact me, send me a message. There are a lot of services. We're going to prepare 500 plus items on Radhastami day. So you can prepare that also, dry item mostly. Many other services are there. You message me separately if you like to do service. A very important day to do service. More you do service, more credits are available. It multiplies. So thousands of Ekadasis, it is mentioned that even if you give mountains of gold, like Meru, still it is not compared, no comparison to the observance, the results of observing Radhastami festival and doing service, doing devotion service on that day, trying to please her. One lady, the Guru Maharaj said, one lady came that day to some other, she's very poor, she doesn't have anything, she was so distraughted, distressed and everything. Somehow or other, she came to the place where is temple, I think Mayapur, where Radhastami is celebrated. Then she asked, what are you all celebrating? Why are you all doing so many events, activities? Then they told, tomorrow is Radhastami, making garlands, using all these flowers. If you like to help, it is very auspicious, please do. And then she came and helped, and then everything changed in her life after that. And she went back to Godhead. That's what I have been told. So, like that, there are many pastimes in many Puranas. And that is a mercy. And she is most compassionate. The other pastime is the jackal. When the lady jackal, also, I think, she was in the fire at that time. Lalita Saki and Vishaka Saki informs Srimati Radharani that about this incident. Immediately, she goes personally with her associates and brings her out from the fire and saves that jackal. Nobody else wants to say it, but she goes and says that is the compassion, most compassionate. Srimati Radharani, Lalita and Vishaka, all the associates of Srimati Radharani. So that is all the spiritual masters, many of our Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all the acharyas are the actually associates of Sri Rupa Goswami's Rati Manjari, directly serving Radha and Krishna through Lalita and Vishaka, who are direct servant of directly serving Srimati Radharani and Radha and Krishna's pastimes. So that it is very important to observe this festival, not to miss it and not to miss service. Something or the other, please do whatever you can do. So that's why it is important, as Nardaman is telling, you must celebrate even if she is blind, because he knows. That is another pastime. Narada Muni, after this, as soon as he touched her, took her that cradle and baby in her hands, completely, he was ecstatic, he was shivering, he was completely into Bhava. He could understand. She's not, because he knew, Narada Muni knew that if Krishna appeared, if the energy, Shaktiman appeared, where is Shakti? Energy has to appear. He knew already. So that's why he came, he was searching, where is Srimad Radharani? And then obviously he came to this place of home of Rishabhan. And so that when this incident, this path is holding, then immediately the desire appeared. Then he went and performed severe austerities on the bank of, I think, Yamuna or Kusum Sarovar. Then Purnamasi and Kundadevi helped her, and then Narada Muni became Naradiya Gopi. So, like Shiva became Gopesh, Mahadev became so also Gopi. Like Narada Muni also became Gopi. Like Arjuna also has become Arjuni Gopi. So, like that, you can see that mercy of Srimati Radharani. So, everybody needs mercy, but we have to do something. So, we should try to serve. So, let's read further. So, at this, where we are, Narada Muni was appeared and celebrating. Yeah. When was that? Yeah. Vrishabhanu therefore made elaborate arrangement for a lavish birth celebration and sent out invitation to all the residents of Raval and Gokul and especially to his dear friend Nanda Maharaj because that's what he told Nanda. Narada Muni told because he knows Krishna has to come. Then only she will open. So that's why he personally told. He invite Nanda Maharaj and all other friends. So on the appointed day, the guests and assembled and birth celebrations were going on with great jubilation. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai had arrived with Rohini and also brought their small children Krishna and Balram. Kitida, Kitida Sundari met with Yashoda and told her that she was very happy to have such a beautiful daughter, but was feeling rather distraught because her child was both dumb and blind. Krishna had just passed his first birthday and was happily crawling around the courtyard on his hands and knees. Arriving at the cot in which Radhika was lying, Krishna held on to the sides and managed to lift himself up. He then peered into the cot, where his gaze fell upon the beautiful moon-like face of baby Radhika. As soon as the baby Radhika smelled the exotic fragrance of Krishna's transcendental body, that's what I explained. We'll read hopefully if you get time. Krishna is attracted or enchanted. Everybody is all attracted. Krishna is all attracted. Everybody else is attracted by the fragrance of Krishna. But Krishna is attracted by the fragrance of Srimati Radharani. So, like that, there are many uh, parallels are there between Srimati Radharani and Krishna. We'll see if we have time. Otherwise, we'll have to do part 2 and 3 uh, looked at directly at Krishna. She immediately opened her eyes. As soon as the baby Radhika smelled the exotic fragrance of Krishna's transcendental body, she immediately opened her eyes for the very first time and looked directly at Krishna. Was the first person that she had ever seen. As Krishna gazed lovingly at baby Radhika, he began smiling ecstatically. Radhika then suddenly began to cry. And for the very first time, she made a sound. Vrishabhanu and Kirtida, along with all assembled Vrajavasis, were overjoyed to find out their beloved daughter Radhika. She was not blind nor dumb, after all. In Radha Ras Suddhanidhi, so powerful is the glancing of her eyes that the flute slips from Krishna's hands. Her peacock crown starts to slip. Yes, as soon as Krishna sees Radharani, that's it. Everything will be shaking. So that is the birth pastime of Srimati Radharani. Now, what's her quality? What's her beauty? What she likes to wear? What are the colors? So that we all know. So I also read today only. So it was interesting. Let's see. See, Srimati Radharani is 15 years old and full of luster of youth. Srimati Radharani is expert in all the 64 fine arts, and her transcendental form is like an ocean of nectar. Like Krishna also is expert in 64 arts. Krishna and Balaram learned from Sandeepan Muni. Here, Srimad Radharani is also expert in 64 arts. Radharani's splendidly bodily luster is like molten gold or stationary lightning. Srimad Radharani wears a wonderfully beautiful blue garment. She is decorated with various pearls and flowers. And she's called Gandharvika. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Goswami Prabhupada established Radha Gandharvika Giridhari temple in Mayapur, in Yogapeeth, I think. So, because she's called Gandharvika, she can attract. Everybody is attracted by Krishna, but Krishna is attracted by Srimati Radharani. So very beautiful and has long, nicely braided hair. Srimati Radharani's splendid forehead is decorated with the red pigment, sindura, and with a beautiful locks of curling hair, decorated with blue bangles. Srimati Radharani's arms are defeated cupid staff with their beauty, decorated with black mascara. Srimati Radharani's expanded lotus eyes are the most beautiful in all the three planetary systems. Radharani's nose is as beautiful as sesame flower and tip is nicely decorated with a pearl. Radharani's ears are decorated with wonderful earrings and her nectarine lips depict the red lotus flowers. Anointed with curious perfumes, Srimati Radharani is splendidly beautiful. bearing all the marks of wonderful beauty. Srimati Radharani's neck and everything are enchantingly gorgeous. Srimati Radharani's beautiful, enchanting arms are two red lotus flowers illuminated with a series of moons that are her fingernails. Uh, Further beautiful description of Srimati Radharani's transcendental body. Beautiful feet are decorated with jewel like ankle bells. Her toes with toe rings as beautiful as the terror of Varuna. Now it will be given of her ornaments and what she likes to wear. Srimati Radharani wears 12 different ornaments on a transcendental form. These ornaments, which include Srimati Radharani's crown, earrings, belt, ankle bells, finger and toe rings, armlets, jewel necklaces that look like strings of stars, are all fashioned from pure gold. They appear like myriad of shining suns. Srimati Radharani wears a locket containing a picture of Sri Krishna and a signet ring that is engraved with Radha. Radharani's Samantaka jewel is also known as Shankachuda Siromani, Shankachuda's crest jewel. Srimati Radharani's ankle bells stun Sri Krishna with their tinkling sounds. Besides jewel and gold, Srimati Radharani wears a variety of flower crowns, necklaces, armlets, sashes, earrings, bracelets, anklets, and blouses. Srimati Radharani taught Lalita Sakhi how to make these flower decorations, which Srimati Radharani prefers over the jeweled variety. Srimati Radhika's favorite crown is made from flowers and birds of five colors arranged in 5 points. The gopis also artistically arrange flowers to create five different kinds of earrings, resembling objects like peacock, lotus, shark, or half moon. The glaringly effulgent tiara, tiara means on the head, the shimmering halo, the beautiful sports in all directs stretching to the horizon. Glistening, sleek armlets, bracelet, necklaces reflect a collective flickering jewel-like coronas. Wearing light colored clothes during the full moon and dark colors in the moons now is important. No. Clothes of Radharani. Make a note. Wearing light colored clothes during the full moon when it is, bright. Dark colors in the moon's absence. Srimati Radharani dresses to please her beloved Krishna and to facilitate her nightly meetings with her lover, Sri Syamasundar. Srimati Radharani's favorite outfit is a Krishna blue sari. Krishna's blue, sky blue, you can say. And shawl matched with a pink blouse that delights Sri Krishna. Radharani's upper garment is red like a ruby, and it is the favorite of Lord Hari. Radharani's lower garment is the color of blue cloud, and it is her favorite. Lord Sri Krishna told to Srimati Radharani, all glories to your wonderful ruby red silk sari. O Radha, this sari has doubled the passionate love I bear for you in my heart. My dear Radha, your curling locks of hair, long, restless eyes, jubilant festival of your beauty makes the three world tremble in transcendental bliss. In this way, the list goes on, but at least we can understand. And Rupa Goswami has written Shri Gandharva Sampradhanastakam by Rupa Goswami. That you can read by your own self. We will not have time to read that much. But now we will go to we understood the sweet pastimes and what she likes to wear, what colors. Now we'll read the Pramana. Before that, let's read the Srimati Radharani's position, who she is, so that we understand. So first, Srimati Radharani is, as I mentioned, that she is the transformation of Krishna's love. She is the internal energy called Hladini Shakti. So because Hladini Shakti gives Krishna pleasure and nourishes his devotees also. Because Krishna has three energies. One energy, Swarup Shakti, it is called, that is transformed into three. That is called Sat Chit Ananda Purna Krishna Swarup. Eka Chit Shakti Tanra Dare Tena Roop. The original Chit Shakti, Swarup Shakti of Krishna transformed into three. What are those? Sat Chit Ananda. Eternality, full of knowledge. Sat means eternality. Chit means full of knowledge. And Ananda means bliss. Now these three things are taken care by three personalities. Lord Krishna, Lord Balram, Srimati Radharani. As well, Srimati Radharani's position, you can see clearly coming up. So now these three things, first one is mentioned of Srimati Radharani. Hladini is the aspect of bliss. Anandam se Hladini. And then Sandini is the aspect is Balram. Eternal existence, Sat. eternal existence. And then Samvit, this is Krishna's. Cognizant means one will know, knowledge aspect. Samvit, which is also called accepted as knowledge. So Anandam se Hladini, if anybody wants spiritual happiness, that comes even the material happiness also. That is coming from Srimati Radharani, Anandam se Hladini. That's why it is very important. Without her mercy, there is no way we can get around to attain any transformations of love. Sadam se Sandini, Chidam se Samvit, Yara Jnana Kari Mani. So, and Jiva Goswami explained that this transcendental potency of the Supreme Personality by which he maintains his existence is called Sandini, and then causes others to know him is called Samvit, and then by one who possesses transcendental bliss and causes devotees to have bliss is called Sandini. So, all the aspects of these three together is called Visuddha Sattva, the Sandhini, Radhini, and Samvit. That means knowledge aspect, the eternality. That's nobody wants to. Everybody wants to be live, because that is the natural quality of our original position. So all these are Sat, Chit, knowledge, and eternality, and pleasure, happiness. Everybody is looking for these three things. As far as the pleasure is coming from Srimati Radharani. That's why it's so important. So Krishna's mother, father, abode, house, wedding, seats, everything are all transformations of these Suddha Sattva, these three aspects. So now the essence of the Samvit potency, why Srimad Radharani's Hladini potency is important, we are coming to that now. So Samvit is knowledge potency. So the Krishna Bhagavata Gnan, Samvitera Sar, Brahma's Gnanadika Savatar Parivar. So the Samvit, even Lord Brahma had to create, he needs knowledge. So that was invested in his heart by Lord Krishna's fruit song. So Samvit potency is the knowledge that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is in charge. Uh, all others are subservient, subsidiary. All other knowledge is subsidiary to this aspect of this Samvit. Now Hladini aspect is coming. Hladini Sara Prema, Prema Sara Bhava, Bhavir Parama Kasta, Nama Mahabhava. The essence of Hladini potency is the love of God. The essence of love of God is emotion, and the ultimate development is Mahabhava. So if one wants to have actually ecstatic symptoms when he's chanting or when he's dancing and he's taking Krishna Prasad, then who is to surrender to? Srimad Radharani and her representatives who are spiritual masters. So that's why without that mercy, there is no way we can actually feel bliss, any bliss. However, days and months and years and lifetimes we may continue. It's not going to happen. So that in the purport, Prabhupada also explains clearly that the product of Hladini Shakti is love of Godhead, which has two divisions, namely pure love of Godhead. The second division is adulterated love of Godhead. So that's what we have right now in material world. Only when the is important part, please make a note. Savdhan. When the Hladini Shakti emanates from Sri Krishna and it is bestowed upon the living being to attract him, does the living being become a pure lover of God? See that point. Unless this Hladini Shakti is bestowed, then only actually he can attain Krishna Prema. He can develop the real love. Otherwise, there is no possibility. So that's why Srimad Radharani's mercy is mandatory. Guru's mercy is mandatory. Otherwise, we can lose. Independent behavior we may have. It is not going to work. It is not going to work. We can't transform. So that is why we have to depend on the mercy of spiritual master, which is coming through Srimati Radharani. Very, very important. Very, very important. But when the same Hladini Shakti is adulterated by external material energy and emanates from the living, it does not attack Krishna. So that's what we have right now. The same Hladini, that's why we think that external energy is Durga Devi, we know that. But in this case, it is clearly explained. Because Durga Devi is who? She is also expanded now. Radharani. Three. All the Lakshmis, including the Durga, that is first. That's just Sarva Lakshmi Mayi Radha. Sarva Prema Mayi Radha. Mahabhava Swarupini Radha, Krishna Kantimayi Radha. There are so many names she has. Krishna Mayi means everything in and out, whatever you know in this world, everything is in the Srimad Radharani, and Krishna only knows her. So in and out, everything. So that's why Krishna is, everybody is attracted to Krishna, everybody is loving Krishna, but Krishna is loving somebody else. Who's that? Srimad Radharani. So that's why it's always, so that's why we have to approach through Srimad Radharani. We will go through further here. So that's why the Hladini Shakti is very important, Srimad Radharani Shakti. And she has special quality, which is Mahabhava Swarupa Sri Radha Thakurani Sarva Guna Kanti Krishna Kanti Siromani. This is Radharani. Radha Thakurani is embodiment of Mahabhava. She is the repository of all good qualities. That means even if the person who doesn't have qualification, he humbly submits and prays to Srimad Radharani and our representative spiritual master, then she will accept because she is so compassionate. That she is the repository of all good quality, crest jewel among all the lovely concerts of Lord Krishna. So that's what we can see. Further, out of so many gopis, 8 gopis, Astasakis we have from the in especially in Sita Mayapur, because again Srida Mayapur is the place Srimati Radharani personally created for Krishna's pleasure. So that's why Srida Mayapur is even more magnanimous, more merciful. So it's wonderful. Hopefully one day we'll be on Radhastami day we'll be there. That's even it's a thousands and thousands of times even more beneficial because it magnifies. Especially if you do service, it magnifies even more. So that much prominence is there, especially. Anyways, of these, even out of all the gopis, 8 gopis are prominent. Out of 16,108, 108 main prominent. Out of that 108, 8 are prominent. Out of the 8 also 2 are prominent, Srimad Radharani and Chandravali. Out of the 2, again, Srimad Radharani is the prominent. This is from Rupa Goswami Ujjwala Nilamani. So now about Radharani is further. Srimati Radharani is as fully spiritual as Krishna. No one should consider her to be material. Her mind, her senses, her body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy. She helps him in his pastimes. So that's why you will see further. All the desires, whatever Krishna's desires, who is fulfilling? It is Srimati Radharani is the one who is fulfilling her desires. Everything, she is the one. She is the one. From her only everything else is been delegated and everybody else is acting. But it is she fulfilling everything of Krishna. So that's why it is so important. After knowing everything is coming from Srimad Radharani, everything is happening through Radharani, then why will not accept the spiritual master and follow their instruction and footsteps? The beloved concerts of Lord Krishna are of 3 kinds. Krishna Kanta Gana Deki Trivida Prakar. First one is Eka Lakshmi Gana Pure Mahishi Gana R. That is first one, Lakshmi Gan. Second one is Mahiji Gan, which is Dwarkavasis. And third one, Vrajangana Rupa. Third, Ara Kanta Gana Sara. Sri Radhika Aite Kanta Ganera Vistar. Srimad Radharani expands into 3 of them. Goddess of fortunes, the queens of Dwarka, third, milkmaids of Raja, or foremost of all. Out of these 3, especially the milkmaid, the gopis of Raja is the topmost. Out of all, Srimad Radharani is the topmost. Um, Further, just as the fountainhead Lord Krishna is the cause of all incarnations, Srimati Radharani is the cause of all these 3 concerts, all these concerts. Whoever you see female energies, every one of them is expansion of Srimati Radharani, every one of them. So, further, the goddess of fortune are partial manifestations of Srimati Radhika, and queens are reflections. So, the third level is Lakshmi's, second level is queens of Dwaraka. So, the queens are reflections. Now, what about gopis? The first level. The goddess of fortune are a plenary portion. They display the forms of Vaibhav Vilas. The queens are of the nature of Vaibhav Prakash. How about the actual gopis? The Vraja Devis have diverse bodily features. They are her expansions, personal expansions. See the difference. Others they are not direct expansion, they are partial. That means the potency is there, but it's not manifested fully in the Lakshmis or in the Queens. But in the case of gopis, they are direct expansions of Srimad. Just like Krishna expands himself into Balaram, so, and like that, here Radharani is direct expansion. You can see gopis. So that's why Rupa Goswami could understand the mind of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Manovistam, because Rupa Manjari, directly serving Lalita and Vishak, Radharani. So that is very important. The Vraja Devis have diverse bodily beings. They are expansions and are the instruments for expanding rasa. They are constantly helping in Radha Krishna pastime. Without many concert, there is not such exaltation in rasa. Therefore, there are many manifestations of Srimati Radharani to assist in the Lord's pastime. That's why Lord is expanding. One body expanded into 2, and then expanded in so many different ways. Swan Vibhinna. his own. Lord Krishna's his own explanation, Vishnu Tattva, and the consort, Radha Tattva, you can say, and then Jiva Tattva, or Vibhinamsa. So Lord Krishna, because more is the more enjoyment. Because there's so many rasas, he wants to enjoy his rasa, but we are saying, no, no, I want to become a master. So that's why we have to suffer. We're suffering. But minute we take up the original position, go back, understand Srimad Radharani's mercy, and then we'll be on our wonderful, blissful position. Srimad Radharani is the one who gives pleasure to Govinda. That's why she's called Govinda Nandini. She's called Govinda Mohini. She's called Govinda Sarvakanti Siromani. She's also the enchantress of Govinda. I told already. Lord Krishna is being attracted. Everybody is attracted to Krishna, but Krishna is attracted to someone else. That is Srimad Radharani. The transcendental pastimes of Srimad Radharani is the direct counterpart of Lord Sri Krishna. She is the central figure of all goddesses of fortune. Right. And further, Krishna Mai, she is called Krishna Mai, one who is within and without are Lord Krishna. She sees Lord Krishna wherever she casts her glance. So that's why she is so merciful. Everyone, anybody approaching, she is seeing everywhere at home. This will be, you will be better devotee than me. Let me offer to Krishna Lord. That's how she is always offering. She encourages always. Acharya explained. Vrunda Devi, Purnamasi, Lalita, all of them are serving, but she tries to bring, okay, now today you sit with, you directly help, you sit with Krishna. That's how she is. She is not directly taking credit. Krishna is always there with me. Let me be with, no. Krishna is, she is always trying to bring others also in the forefront with Krishna. So this is that much. She's always looking to help others to notify Krishna what are their services are. This is the mood. That's why you'll see the spiritual man. Why are they otherwise? Because I have heard repeatedly and I have seen my Guru Maharaj praying for devotees, praying for whether they are his own disciples or not. Anybody asking their prayers, always repeat praying because this is the mercy of Srimad Radharani. This is the mercy of Sri Prabhupada. Always considering about others, always the well wishing for others, well being of others, always praying for others. Our aspect of the Guru will take care, Radharani will take care. We don't need to worry so much about ourselves. We should be worried about others. We should be worried about Guru's duty, Guru's instruction, what he wants us to do. That should be our worry. Our things, everything they will take care. We don't need to worry so much about our maintenance and our deliberation, our deliverance. Although they will take care. If we do their duty and instruction, their desires, then automatically everything else. Krishna is telling Sarvadharman Parijin. That was Krishna is telling Samsara Mochana Varam. What is that? Papa Nasana Varam. Then the third one means he will maintain even the maintenance of samsara and they will remove all the sinful activity and he will deliver Krishna Prema also. All these three things he will give. One who is surrendered, one who is trying to execute his instruction and his representative. For them, Krishna is telling all these three things. So that it is important to know. So Krishna Mai means she knows everything in and out. She is the one, embodies the mellows of love. Energy of Krishna is identical with him. Now the Krishna, now this is the important aspect also. Krishna vancha purti ropa kare aradhane. That's why she is called Anaya Aradhyate iti Radha. She is the top. There is no person in this whole Brahmanda, universe, material, spiritual world who can worship Krishna better than her. She is the topmost, she is the expert. No one beyond her who can worship Krishna. That's why she's called Anaya Aradhyate. That's why Sukadeva Goswami couldn't utter because he is the pet parrot of Srimad Radharani. If he takes the name, that's it, he will become unconscious. He will tremble. So that's why he couldn't utter. Indirectly, he has said. Confidential, obviously, and also he cannot, if he use, then he will be in somewhere else, some other pastime. He cannot describe to Sukadeva Parikshit Maharaj all the 12 cantos. He will be diverted into some other conference completely. So that's why he didn't speak. Indirectly, he spoke few verses in Srimad 10th canto about Radharani, not directly putting, but in all other Puranas, Upanishads, Samhitas, there are quotations everywhere. Today's class will be a little more time. Please be patient with me. So the Radha name is derived from the root word Aradhana, which means worship. So that's why if we are worshipping, whom we have to learn from? Srimati Radharani. Whom we have to learn from? Sri Vigrahara Dhananityanana Sangaradhan. Who's that? Spiritual master. Representative Srimati Radharani. The spiritual master is learning, getting that spiritual strength and knowledge from how to worship a deity. How to worship. How Lord wants us to worship. Like, are we, our sons and daughters, are they not telling, Mama, today I like this curry. Today I want this. Are they not telling? They are telling. So the same way, we also have to be learned, we have to be taught, we have to know. We have to ask the Lord, what you want me to cook? Please give me inspiration. It is not whatever. Okay, I like this. I will cook this. No, that is not. That is not. That means that is independent nature. The dependent nature means you are always submitting. What can I cook? How do I cook? What you want me to cook? This should be the question. This should be the submission. Then they have to reveal. They will reveal. They will inspire. What shop to go, where to get, what to get. Everything they will start revealing. They will start indicating it, directly or indirectly. So that is always she is represent. She is showing how to worship at the topmost level, and spiritual master is showing. So that's why we are seeing that samsara lava prayer. That this description is there. Guru is always thinking how I can improve the worship of the Lord. Because Lord likes two things, the Abhishek and the decorations. These two things Lord always likes. Out of everything else in the world, these two things. So more is beautifully decorated, more is beautifully done Abhishek. We'll have on Radhastami day, we'll have Abhishek. Inside altar Abhishek, outside Abhishek. Two Abhisheks will be there. So that is also there. 6:30 to 6 to 9:30 program. 8 to 9 will be the Abhishek. Don't miss it. You can bring fruits, nuts, and dates, and some dry items you can make also, as I mentioned. So much service is there if you like to. So that's Aradhana. She is the topmost. We have to learn through her mercy, through her revelation, through prayers, through spiritual master. We have to learn how to worship. And now, yeah, this is the verse. Anaya Arad is this is the actual verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the highest Praman because Bhagavatam is the highest Praman. Anaya Aradito Nunam Bhagavan Harir Iswara Yanno Vihaya Govinda Prito Ayam Anayat Raha. Truly, the personality of Godhead has been worshipped by her. Therefore, Lord Govinda, being pleased, has brought her to know. This is an Ras Leela. Lord Krishna, Lord Govinda disappeared suddenly with Srimati Radharani. So that is indirectly here Sukadeva Goswami is mentioned. So therefore, Srimati Radharani is Parama Devata, supreme God. She is worshipful for everyone. She is the protectress of all. She is the mother of the entire universe. Sarva Palika, Sarva Jagater Mata, Sarva Puja, Parama Devata. All so many descriptions. Repeatedly she has been calling out. She has been called. Sarva Lakshmi. She is called Sarva Lakshmi Mai. And then she is called also. She is also mentioned that she fully represents six opulences of Krishna. You see that everything coming down to her only. We know that Krishna possesses six opulences. That is coming. Srimati Radharani is the one who fully represents. She is representing that. Fully represents six opulences. Therefore, she is the supreme energy of Lord Krishna. Uh, Sarva indicates all beauty and luster rest in her body. All the Lakshmis derive their beauty from her. So, and also all the desires of Lord Krishna, all the desires of Lord Krishna rest in Srimati Radharani. So this is also important. Radhika Karena Krishnera Vanchita Pran. Srimad Radhika fulfills all the desires of Lord Krishna. This is the meaning of Sarvakanti. Sarvakanti Sabdher Yehi Artha Vivaran. Radhika Karena Krishnera Vanchita Puran. So she is the one fulfilling the desires of Srimad Radharani. So then the spiritual masters are helping Srimad Radharani. So all the Manjaris, all the associates, they're all helping. Vrunda Devi helping, Purnamasi is helping, all of them are helping, assisting Srimati Radharani in fulfilling the desires of Krishna, what he wants. Okay, you have to go to this place and preach. Okay, Srimati Radharani sends our Manjaris, our associates. Okay, you go and go there and preach. So like that, Mr. Prabhupada had to come down also. But this dancer Thakur has to come down. So like that. So whatever, they don't mind. So wherever they send, Srimati Radharani sends, then they're ready to go and do. So Lord Krishna enchants the whole world, but Srimati Radharani enchants even him. Therefore, she is the supreme goddess of all. Jagat Mohan Krishna. This is another name. Jagat Mohan Krishna. Srimati Radharani is the full power. Radha Purna Shakti. And Krishna is the possessor of full power, Purna Shaktiman. Dui Vastu Vedana is Shastra Praman. There is no difference. The two are not different as evidenced by revealed scripture because originally one. Sri Krishna himself has expanded into Srimati Radharani to relish, to exchange the rasa. So, thus, Radha and Lord Krishna are one, yet they have taken two forms to enjoy the mellows of the pastime. This is the crux and essence. Radha Krishna Aiche Sada Ekai Swarup Leela Ras Aswadite Dare Dui Roop. So, Leela Ras, because that's what the whole thing is. Lord Krishna is always performing these loving, intimate, ecstatic pastimes. No other form performing those pastimes because that is exchange, that rasa is so intense. One becomes mad, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed with his own example how intense it can get. I haven't gone there. This is only the one level I have described it. There are two or three different details of Srimad Radharani. This is the first level of details I am sharing. There is another level which goes much more intense of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conversation with Ramananda Rai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking, Ramananda Rai, you are the expert. Please describe me about Krishna. Describe me about Srimad Radharani. Then Ramananda Rai started describing the aspects of Lord Krishna. And then again he goes on to Srimad Radharani. Oh, it goes so deep, so deep. Some of them we can't even read at our level. So it's so deep because obviously Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't discuss the confidential pastimes with anybody and everybody because Ramananda Rai is directly Lalita Sati and Swarup Damodar Visakha Sati, or the vice versa in two different places it's mentioned differently. Either way, they are the most that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed the most confidential pastimes. So in another class we will describe that. At least some portions may not be the whole thing. That is in Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. So in this way, Lord Krishna was curious to taste. If sometime I can be the abode of that love, only then I may taste. May I taste its joy. Krishna is feeling that. Thinking in this way, Lord Krishna was curious to taste that love. His eager desire of that love increasingly blazed in his heart. That is one desire. There are three desires, as I mentioned. These are the three desires why Lord Krishna expanded himself. And then again he appeared also together as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one to exchange rasas, to relish, and then he saw Radharani is releasing more. Then he wants to understand how come she is feeling so much love, how come she is feeling so much happiness more than me. What is that? So that's why all these three desire, three reasons. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srimati Radharani. So Krishna appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So that's why Lord Krishnera Madhurya Krishna Upajaya Lobha Samyak Aswadite Nare Mane Rahe Kshoba. Lord Krishna's own beauty attracts Lord Krishna himself, but because he cannot fully enjoy it, his mind remains full of sorrow. This is what we are seeing. So there are many other pastimes, many other descriptions about Srimad Radharani, but this will be now. Let's look at the Praman quickly because that is always Prabhupada always presented. Without Praman, he never discussed anything. Tattva, on what basis, what Praman you have. So let's look at the Praman quickly. Then we can conclude part one of Srimad Radharani's glories. So from Rigveda, it is mentioned about Srimad Radharani. Sri Radha is given in Rig Parisista, supplement to Rigveda. Radhaya Madhavo Devo Madhave Naiva Radhika Vibrajante Janeshu. Among all persons, it is Sri Radha in whose company Lord Madhava is especially glorious, as she is especially glorious in his Matsya Pran. As Rukmini is the chief queen in Dwaraka, Srimad Radharani is the chief gopi in Vrindavana. Rukmini Dwaravatyam tu Radha Vrindavane Vane. Chandogya Upanishad. Syama Chavalam Prapadde, Chavala Syamam Prapadde. For receiving the mercy of Krishna, I surrender unto his energy. Radha, see that again. If you want mercy of Krishna, whom you have to submit? To the spiritual master and Srimad Radharani. So I surrender unto his energy, Radha, and for receiving the mercy of his energy, mm, I surrender unto Krishna. So, and then further, in Agni Puran, Jiva Goswami is quoting that at dawn the gopis inquired from Krishna's servant Uddhava about the Lord's pastimes and recreation. Only Srimati Radharani, immersed in thought of Krishna, withdrew her interest in the talks. Then Radha was worshipped by the residents of Vrindavana village, spoke up in the midst of her girlfriends. Her words were full of pure transcendental knowledge, expressed the ultimate portion of the Vedas. So many different explanations or so many pramans are given. I just read only few. So let's look at a few more. Then we'll try to conclude unless any questions. Yeah, we'll look at the Matsya Puran. Even the Shankaracharya, as in the Jagannathastakam, we know, Param Brahma Pida Kolaya Dulot Pulla Nayano Nivasi Niladro Nihita Charano Ananta Sirasi Rasa Ananda Radha Saras Opuralingana Suku Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatuni. So that itself. And in Padma Puran, also it is mentioned that our worship is mentioned in the 7th as well as 20th chapters of Bhumi Kanda, volume 5. In the Radhastami and Radha Damodar Vrat, great details are mentioned. And many of them it is mentioned that Radha and Krishna's deities has to be worshipped in the morning and bathed. So obviously, at home if you have, you can do it, Abhishek. If not, you come to temple. We'll be doing obviously inside Upachar, 16 Upachar, or in the evening anyway. Abhishek is there. Outside you can do it. Also, lotus flower can be offered. You can write some message and you can offer that every year we are doing it. And then Abhishek is also there. So in that way you can directly worship and do the Abhishek. So that way also that is also good. Or if you want to come in the morning, indirectly you can bring something for offering for Abhishek or anything in the morning by 5 o'clock, 4:30 to 5. Then that is also indirectly you are also being in the part of the upachar or worship of Radha and Krishna in the morning, as these most of the Puranas are describing that kind of worship on the Radhastami day. One of the famous Padma Puran verse, Yata Radha Priya Vishnu, Tasya Kundam Priyam Tata, Sarva Gopishu Saivaika Vishnu Ratyanta Vallava. Just as Radha is dear to Lord Krishna, so her bathing place Radha Kunda is dear to him. She alone is most beloved of all gopis. That is from Padma Puran. Radharani was glorified by sage Satyavrata Muni in the famous Damodara Ashtakam mentioned in Padma Puran. That we know. Not going to repeat that. In Kartik Mahatmya also it is there. And then Srimad Radharani's sovereignty over Vrindavan is also described in the following verse found in both Skanda Puran and Matsya Puran. Varanasyam Vishalakshi Vimala Purushottame Rukmini Dwaravatyaam cha Radha Vrindavane Vane. So then Srimad Radharani is the best of Lord Krishna's potency is spoken in the following verse found in Brohat Gautamiya Tantra spoken by Lord Krishna himself to Lord Balaram. Wow, very prominent. Lord Krishna himself speaking to Lord Balaram. Sarvam Tatvam Paratvam cha Tattva Tatrayam Aham Kila Tri Tattva Ripini Shakti Radhika Mama Vallava. That means, what is the meaning? My dear, I am the master of three potencies of material cause, material effect, and transcendental potency over material nature. These three potencies are embedded in Srimati Radharani, who is very dear to me. Wow, very important. Krishna himself is telling Lord Balaram. You can understand the importance. Important to note. In Narada Purana, in 89th chapter, describes the Yugala Sahasranama, 1000 names of both Radha and Krishna, where the first 500 names are Krishna's and second 500 names are Radharani's names. It also includes in Uttara Bhaga, chapter about Vrindavan Mahatmya, volume 5, chapter 80, where sage Narada Muni becomes a gopi in Vrindavan to take part in Srimad Radharani's Leelas. I described, briefly mentioned, that's in itself is a separate pastime. This is in Vrindavan Mahatmya. Volume 5. That's why, unless because if these many books, that's why I said unending fasting. If each Purana you look at and discuss or understand about the glories of Srimad Radharani, our position, our pastimes, and observance of Radhastami, you can imagine how much it will be. How many days and months it will take to describe and understand. So I am just describing in brief very quickly. In the Skanda Purana, Vaishnava Kanda, Bhagavata Mahatmya talks about Srimad Radharani. The first chapter, volume 6, contains the famous statement, Atmantu Radhika Tasya. Radharani is the Krishna's soul. The Vasudeva Mahatma chapters 16 and 17 describe Goloka and the manifestation of Radha and Krishna for Narada. In the Shiva Purana, the Yuddha Kanda of Rudra Samhita contains the story of Shankachuda, who is actually Sridham, and the Saka of Lord Krishna in Goloka, who incarnates as a demon due to the curse of Radharani. That's why that curse, both counter cursing is there. That's why she has to marry Abhimanyu. That pastime is also there in Yavat. One day, so maybe in part two we'll discuss. All the time is up. In Yavat, the pastime is there. Krishna meeting, okay, Purnamasi, and then Purnamasi telling about Radharani's marriage with Abhimanyu. So that is another pastime. Like that, there are small pastimes are there, many. Devi Bhagavad Puran describes in Navama Skanda glories of Radha and Krishna and their leelas in Golok, the rest of the universe. Brahma Vaivarta Puran entirely deals with the pastimes of Radha and Krishna mentioned in the list of major Puranas. Looks like Brahma Vaivarta Puran has great details. I don't have a copy, so I can describe what we have. So, but Srimad Bhagavatam anyway is the highest Praman for us. So the verse we discovered Anaya Aradhito, and the second verse which Sukadeva Goswami quotes is 10:47:11. Kachin Madhukaram Društva Dhyayanti Krishna Sangamam Priya Prastapitam Dutam Kalpaitva Idam Abravit. One of the gopis, while meditating on a previous association with Krishna, saw a honeybee before her and imagined it to be a messenger sent by her beloved. Thus he spoke as follows. So the Kachin is in this case indirectly is the actually Srimati Radharani. So in this way we can Vishnu Puran. We'll stop with this. Vishnu Puran describes the description of Rasalila in the chapter 13 of book 5 or 7 slokas describing Krishna leaving Rasa Mandal. The words used here is Anaya Aradhyate. Vishnu Abhyarchito Eya. Vishnu was worshipped extensively by her. Therefore, we can infer that this gopi is Srimati Radharani. And that this list goes on. So much details, so many Puranas, so many Upanishads. Anyway, different pastimes are there. How much can we go on? With the interest of limitation of time. Let's see if anyone has any questions. Anyone has any questions? Comments? Everybody understood? No question, no comments? No. Okay. Then we'll stop here. We'll do part two some other time before Radhastami, hopefully. We'll go through the places also, Yavat and Barsana and Raval. Look at the temples and the different pastimes also will cover part three.
Prabhu,
Yes.
please accept my salvation to Srila Prabhupada. One small, you can guide me one thing, Prabhu. So you have very nicely glorified Radharani's Radharani, and what is the I don't have that much knowledge and that much understanding, but what is the easiest and best way to understand Radharani?
Easiest,
How to understand?
easiest and best way to understand is understanding the spiritual master. The desires of the spiritual master are not different from Srimad Radharani. She is revealing, Srimad Radharani is revealing to the spiritual master what she wants him to do, what she wants, what Krishna expects him to do. So that is all revealed by Srimad Radharani through through their spiritual master, like Sri Prabhupada's revelation, previous Acharya's revelation to Guru is inspired by Srimati Radharani. She is the main backbone of all the desires, inspirations, revelations. And if you want to understand, then this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. We can read, but always we can read chapter 4. This what I described, some of it is chapter 4 of Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela. This is described. In Madhya Leela, there's much more confidential details are there. In Antya Leela also it is there. But chapter 4, Adi Leela, anybody can read. It's not so confidential because it's more tattva. And Adi Leela is more of philosophy and tattva, so that anybody can read, no problem. But Madhya Leela, there's more confidential pastimes are described. So it takes some attention from we should hear in the association. Yeah, that if you want to know more about and understand, you read and or you hear. Ideally, we should hear because Chaitanya Charitamrita says that unless we have the strong background of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, sometimes it gets difficult too much. because Adi Leela is also philosophy, but it's for me, I'm reading almost 3-4 times or more I have read. So for me, it's almost like churning of Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Charitamrita is also for me, I don't see any difference. I relish it so that I read regularly. But it's not going to be easy for everyone to read and pick up easily and understand Chaitanya Charitamrita. But you can try it and see if you'll be able to move on reading and further go on, or you get stuck. If you get stuck, then you'll have to hear from others, from spiritual master or advanced devotees.
হরিবল প্রভু, দণ্ডবোধ প্রণাম প্রভু।
Yes, is that 1 minute? Is that not our problem? Is that clear? Means other
Yes,
position or some details are given, like nectar of instruction has just a few verses describing our highest position. Last few verses, 8, 9, 10, 9, especially 9, 10, 11 describing. And Bhagavad Gita, you will see here and there in terms of the Mahatmanas Tumam Parth, the Daivim Prakritamastra in that verse, or Vetaraga Vaikroda Manmayama Upas, wherever Krishna is telling, taking shelter of his pure devotees, that there also, that's why in Prabhupada's 4 classes Prabhupada gave on Radhastami, 1 class is on Vetaraga Vaikroda. I think that on that 2 classes are there, I think. Other 2 classes are on Brahma Samhita, Ramadi Murtishu, and then Prabhupada went on to explain about and then Ananda Chinmaya, that is also Brahma Samhita verse. So Prabhupada took these verses and expanded about the taking shelter of, means whom we are taking shelter. That is spiritual master, who is the representative of Srimati Radharani. So that's what Prabhupada went on explaining. So in Bhagavad Gita, you may see details to some extent in the purports of Prabhupada books, but Bhagavatam gives little more details, especially in 10th canto, though. That again, it's more confidential. Maybe you can read Krishna book, so that way it's not so deep and intense. Especially Rasa Panchadhyay, we should ideally not read because it's too difficult for us to get the grips of what it is, why it is, and those. It is better not to read at this point. It needs to wait for further more time to read those confidential pastimes because we need a lot of realized knowledge, a lot of realized and revealed revelations in the heart. And then we can enter and understand what it is, what these actual intimate pastimes are. Otherwise, the mind will go in different directions, which is not good. Yeah. For now, you can refer to Nectar of Instruction, last verses, or Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, or hear from spiritual master or advanced devotees. So that might be the best, easier. Especially if your time crunch, it is better to hear from the advanced devotees who have dedicated their life in serving just Guru and Krishna. So from them we have to hear. Especially Radha Tattva is very confidential. These topics not to be discussed on a regular time. Is to be discussed. Especially Prabhupada never encouraged this topic to be discussed on any time and any time. It will be discussed only when Radhastami is there or some special time something called upon. Otherwise, generally we don't discuss about Radharani because she's not. Because we need to have proper qualification. Prabhupada himself didn't discuss. So based on the Acharya, so we have to also follow that aspect and try to. We can read ourselves, but not to discuss in public and detail about her position because it's confidential.
Yes, I totally agree. And thank you, Prabhu. Before Ashish Prabhu asks one question, so now in Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we say Hare,
Yeah.
then we are begging Radharani to
Yes.
engage in a service. So our mood should be when we pray to the Lord Radharani, or when we see Radharani, we beg her to engage in service.
Yeah.
So is that the mood, right
Yeah.
mood, or
Correct.
what is?
That is the mood. O internal energy of the Lord, O all attractive Lord, O all powerful Lord, please engage me in your service. That's what we are asking. That is the straight and meaning Prabhupada has given. Yeah, we always, whenever we bow down in front of Sri Prabhupada, in front of spiritual master, in front of sadhus, advanced devotees, so this is the what we have to ask for: spiritual strength, spiritual intelligence. These two things and understanding the desires of spiritual master, understanding the desires of Krishna as well as the desires of spiritual master. That's what we have to pray for. Then everything will automatically reveal, and everything will happen, come. The energy and strength is needed, and understanding desires, their desires. Then automatically we will be on the right track. Okay, then there is no more Swatantra Bhava, there is no independent nature automatically. If you're asking for these three things, then those things are only they will guide and they will give the strength and remove all the clutter, unwanted things in the heart. So that's what we have to pray for. So naturally, that will manifest. It may take time, but to keep praying. So every day we have to pray. So if even the materially our child may ask, son or daughter may ask, I want that tie, I want this, I want that. After repeatedly asking, maybe mother will agree immediately, okay, you can go and buy. But father will generally will not agree. Why you need that tie? So same way, so the if prayer also first time it may not work. Keep repeatedly praying. Lord wants to see how sincerely we really need. You're just mechanically praying, or you really need it. You really want it. What is your sincerity? We may also jatka bhi lage kabhi kabhi. Maya ka jatka. Then we'll see. Krishna will test. Really, you are serious, or you're only acting. So that also will come. Then if you are repeatedly, even after so many difficulties, after Jatkas also, you are keep praying, then that time Krishna will reveal. So what he wants, the Master will reveal. So that should be our prayers.
Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ashish Karana Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Babu, Dandavat Pranam. Oh, everyone asks, one time people asking that in Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, 10th canto is dedicated to Bhagavan Krishna. But there we did not find any there we did not find any Radha's name.
Yeah.
Srimati Radharani's name.
Yes.
So what is the reason, Prabhu?
I mentioned earlier in the class already. Anaya Aradhito iti Radha, where Sukadeva Goswami is the parrot of Srimati Radharani. He cannot describe. If he describes it, will first of all it is confidential. Like just like in a material sense, forget about on the topic. But if you look at just if anybody wants to talk about, if somebody is talking to you, talking to me, will we talk about our wife? Will we talk about in detail about our wife? No one will do that. No one will do. Same way, we talk about Krishna, but why to talk about Krishna's concert? It's not a public discussion. It is confidential discussion. As those who are serious devotees, yes, may discuss it, but it is not a public discussion. So that's how Prabhupada puts it. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami obviously is in a fully deep consciousness. If we immediately chants like this is just like one who chants Gorang, Goranga, then he'll go in ecstasy and bliss like that. As soon as he chants Radharani's name, that's it. He'll be done. He'll be unconscious. Like Madhavendra Puri immediately thinks, then he'll be unconscious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing. That is what they are. That is the consciousness they are carrying. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami didn't chant for that purpose. So as Parikshit Maharaj has 7 days to die. So if he goes on, keep on already, that's why he arranged. Different acharyas mentioned that Sukadev, Parikshit Maharaj arranged the drummers and others to make sure that Sukadev Goswami doesn't go into unconscious. Somebody has to wake him or someone bring him to consciousness. He arranged all those things because otherwise in 7 days he has to listen. He cannot have interruptions because he is expert. He is already elevated, pure devotee. Parikshit Maharaj wants to make sure that he is going to be also transferred to the spiritual world. He does not linger around here and get another body here. So that's why he wants to be arranged accordingly. So that's why that's why it is not described about Radharani's position. Indirectly it is
Okay,
indirectly described. Yeah.
okay. That means you are talking about, Prabhu, that Srimati Radharani indirectly described in 10th canto, right?
Yes. All the gopis, the Ras Leela is with whom? That is with gopis. Gopis are who are his part. Gopis are the expansion of Srimati Radharani. And including one gopi is there, that is I described in 2 verses clearly. One verse clearly saying Anaya Aradhita. That Aradhana means coming from Radha. Word is coming from Aradhana, the topmost worship. So just like Akarma means no bondage. When A is used, generally it is pure. So akarma means pure karma, no bondage. So same way aradhana, radha and a is apostrophe is used, prefix is used. That means topmost one. No one can exceed in her worship, in her service. Excellence, super excellence. So that's her position. So whatever she does, she's expert. She's always cooking. Every day she's cooking different varieties. That pastime is also there. Jetila wants to stop. So Radharani, she saw that every day she is going. She's tired of all these things. Why Krishna and Radharani always meeting? What is this? I can't tolerate. I can't allow. One day she tried that. Then she said, "Let me interrupt." Then there was a problem at that time when this Jetila wants to obstruct. Then Radharani and they made a device. They planned that she will have the Radharani had a problem that snake bite or something. That was what they put together a drama. And then so how do you cure? What is wrong? Then that you need to bring a charmer, somebody who can remove that. Then they brought Krishna only in disguise of a snake charmer. So that it's like this. They're always Radha and the Radharani's associates are always helping Purnamasi, Vrunda Devi, all others are helping. How even the Jetila is trying to put obstruction, but they're helping. So she's always the backbone of Krishna's pastimes, and she's always there as a gopi. And so she's the topmost. So that's all there in 10th canto. All the Ras Leela pastimes, all the stealing of clothes. Krishna is performing all these pastimes with gopis. All these are there in the 10th canto. Some of the chapters, at least 10, 15 chapters are there describing those details. So yeah, is that clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Thank you,
That
Prabhu.
is the tattva. And if you understand in general also, it is a common sense. Wife is not supposed to take husband's name. That is a common Vedic culture. Wife is not supposed to take husband's name after marriage. The same way that's our acharyas also, Jiva Goswami and various acharyas, they don't use the spiritual master's name. When they say that Sridhar Swami is coming to Te, that they use indirectly. They don't call the names of an acharya also. Because they feel so much attached like a husband and a wife. My husband. We are not supposed to call the husband's name. So they Jiva Goswami don't want to call Sridhar Swami with the name. He's thinking that much attachment, that much reverence is giving. So that indirectly uses some words to represent that it is Sridhar Swami's commentary I am following. So I am representing Sridhar Swami, what he says. So that's what it is. That so much reverence it is. That's it's confidential. So just like in a material dealings itself, the husband-wife relation is confidential. Same way, obviously, Srimad Bhagavatam also, even though it's the highest, topmost, it's already giving, but it's indirectly it is giving. It's not, it cannot proclaim the confidential aspects directly. And that there's so many different levels. Another way Acharya put it as Gopis doesn't want Sukadev Goswami described. He told, don't put our names in the front. Don't write. Don't write our names. As Radharani is like that. She's humble, she's delicate, she's sensitive. She doesn't want her name to be there anywhere. Like our out of 6 Goswamis, 1 or 2 Goswamis, they don't want their name to be written. They told Krishna's Pradas Goswami, no, don't write our names. They told Sanatana Goswami, don't write, but still Sanatana Goswami put his name of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. This is the mood. Different acharyas have different moods, and so that's why that name. That is another reason. There could be some other reasons also, but at least these are some of the reasons we have heard from our acharyas. Is that clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Clear, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam to everyone.
We'll stop already 8:37, very late. Andhra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srimati Shri Radha Syam